So in order to implement it, a security, as I already conveyed in a Power BI sessions, like first third class or fourth class, I used to explain the security with respect to role-based security. I used to create a one or two roles. Then after I used to publish the report in a Power BI service, and then after I used to showcase. So here, in order to work on a live environment, we will not use Power BI desktop to implement a security. So we are going to use the software called Data Tools or Visual Studio or SQL Server to implement the same. So for that, first of all we need to install some softwares. The softwares I'm just giving a heads up here. Okay. Meanwhile, by next class install it, and we'll start the security session now, and then after we'll see hands-on next session. So first of all, the softwares which are required is SQL Server and Visual Studio and Data Tools. The same software is required to work with a complete Power BI project and interact with the different sources also. So SQL Server, we require SQL Server 2017 or 2016 version, and Visual Studio, you have community edition is there, which is a free, lifelong free for developers. You can download it and you can use it. If you install a Visual Studio of 2017, that will help you to work with R, Python, machine learning, Azure Data Factory, Azure Data Lake, everything those are available with the community 2017. So previously Krishna asked us where to write the query or where to execute it. So if you install a Visual Studio with the Azure Data Factory plugin with the 2015 or 2017, if you install, that will help you to create Azure Data Factory project and run it, or use shell scripts. So that is Visual Studio 2017 community edition is there, which is free, and Data Tools 2017 or 2015, it is to develop MSBI projects. Okay, so these are available over net. If required, I will share the software links. You can download it by next class. I already have the recorded video how to install it, so will help you to install on that one. So just give me 1 minute to provide the links over here to download. Sandhya has some issues with audio. Fine. SQL Server 2017. So 2017. One second. So here this is a link to download SQL Server 2017, and here you need to install the evaluation version. Whatever the version of SQL Server that you are using, you need to use evaluation, which evaluation refers, it contains the SQL Server, DBA, IS, AS, RS completely together, and a body base and all the new features of SQL Server will be available as part of evaluation. Or you can install Express Edition if you are only working with a SQL Server. You don't require IS, RS, AS. And a Developer Edition is there. You can proceed with the Developer Edition also, which is a lifelong free. So some people install a SQL Server evaluation version that will be expired in 6 months of a time. Then after you can uninstall and reinstall. One second. I hope Sanjay now you are able to. Fine. So you can proceed with either a Developer Edition or Enterprise edition, whenever you are working with 2 or 3 people or small teams, you need to go with evolution edition. Or whenever you are working with independent alone, you can proceed with the developer edition, which is a free for a lifelong. So select any one thing, and thereafter you can see it got downloaded. So whenever you click on it, it will ask you to save a file, ISO file, then extract it. So from here onwards, what to do? Everything will be explained as part of a video that I am going to share. You can proceed with that. Just download it. I will tell you how to install. That is for SQL Server to maintain the databases. The next one is Visual Studio Community. Community edition. So here there is a link to download a community software. There will be professional software also will be there, but community is free for the developers. And next one is data tools. This is the link to download the data tool software. Okay, so you just click on it and then after install that software. So I provide the links over here. What are the softwares which are required as part of complete Power BI course? Either it might be security, or it might be project, or it might be to connect with the different sources, or to work with any advanced Microsoft BI related technology. So open these links and I will share a video how to install that video softwares. You can proceed with that, or if you have any questions, I will help you to install that one. So these are the 3 softwares which we require. Now, as some people are new, like a high level itself, like SQL Server, to download, to keep your data as part of a database. It might be relational data, it might be multi-dimensional data, and it might be a tabular data. And if you want to deploy your packages or projects, those you can maintain as part of a SQL Server. Or if you want to deploy your reports, you are going to use a SQL Server. Or if you want to deploy the cubes are nothing but a data warehouse. If you want to store the data in database or data warehouse, SQL Server we are going to use it. For that purposes, we will use this one. Visual Studio is a development environment for all the technologies called .NET or Python or your R or Azure Data Factory, or for all the things or Windows applications, Visual Studio will be used. And the data tools for MS BI project development, SSIS, SSAS, SSRS. If you want to develop something, data tools will be used. So that is what?
Hello, Srinivas.
Yes, Sandhya.
Is this a continue class or this is the first class? I'm a bit confused actually.
It's a continuation class. It's a new topic. We just started.
We are there in, okay, this is the starting of security, right?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So, fine. So, these are the 3 softwares which you require, and once you are done with that, the next thing is security. The next one is, so here, in our security in a Power BI, we have mainly 2 types of security is there. So first of all, why you need to implement a security? So what security refers here is, this security is not refers to the data that you have from an end user. Okay, this security refers what data you want to showcase with the user. Okay, so there are mainly two types of security concerns will be there. Where your data is there, how you protect your data, that will be taken care by Microsoft. You don't need to worry at all regarding that one, where you are keeping, what kind of backups or what kind of features which you require, or how you are managing, so that this security concept is not going to cover. That Microsoft will take care. So next one is so it is not like the security concept is not going to refer how we are storing or how we are organizing. It is not referring. This is going to refer whatever the report that you are sharing with the user, what data they need to see. Okay, the ClickView developer or a Tableau developer used to come and ask us, but like they will tell the scenario. Do we have a role-based security which is available in Tableau or ClickView? Yes, we have. So what the security refers is, it will show or hide the data based on the user privileges. Based on the user privileges, it is going to hide the data. So this is one of the performance tuning technique also. Why it is a performance tuning technique is, so if I am not implementing a security, so like why it is important aspect of like performance tuning is, if you are not creating a security or if you are not implementing a security, whenever you are browsing a cube, whenever you are creating a report, that will filter your complete data set. If you are having a 10 crore data set is there, it is going to filter the 10 crore records. But if you have like security implementation, each user we want to showcase 1 lakh records based on his privileges. Power BI or Cube will load only that 1 lakh records into cache. So at that time, whenever you use it, it will not filter the operation as per the 1 crore records. It will perform only on 1 lakh records. So security in Power BI, from here onwards, understand very clearly, security in Power BI refers how or what to show or hide the data based on the user privileges. And here, why it is required to maintain integrity, and the other thing is to implement performance also. Okay, these are the two reasons. These are the two reasons we are going with the security. Here, there are mainly two types of securities are there. On a high level, there are mainly two levels of securities are there. Those are role-based and row-based securities. Here, I might showcase 1 or 2 examples or 3 examples as part of a class, but I have almost 10 scenarios where we can implement the security. Where there are 10 common scenarios, this kind of security will be implemented. So I will take my time to explain those 2 or 3 scenarios very clearly, and at the same time I will give the task for the batch 1 people who I covered at DAX to implement that kind of securities, which they will ask you as part of an interview. Okay, so now mainly 2 types of securities are there, role-based and row-based. What do you mean by role-based is, which I already showcased you as part of Power BI desktop, that based on our requirement we are going to create a role. Based on our requirement means, let's assume you are representing a sales data or any data where you need to provide a privilege that a common data need to provide to the set of people. Okay, so a common data, a set of data need to provide a group of people. In that scenario, one second. So in that scenario, sorry. So role-based security here, how to implement, we observed in the last session like as part of Power BI desktop. But why exactly, where exactly pick this one is, understand the scenario that whenever you need to showcase the data or whenever you need to hide the data to a set of people, the same condition. Same condition means like all the US people need to US data only, or UK people need to see UK data only, or a group of people need to see a relevant data. For a set of people, we are providing the same data as input. In that scenario, we are going to use role-based security. So when you are going to set this one is, if we want to show or hide or provide access set of data for multiple people. So multiple people, the same data we are providing access, irrespective of his designation, irrespective of his role. For set of people, we are providing the same data. All the people access the same data. If you need to provide that kind of functionality, you will select a role-based security. Okay, so role-based security. So 1 second. Role-based. At that time we are going to use role-based security, and the next one is here. That is the main concept, and remaining are use cases. Like whatever the example that we tell, whoever tells, that is a use case. But the definition is, or functionality is, like whenever you want to provide a set of data, common data, for all of them, not for a single person, not a user level. At multiple people, we want to give the same data. At that time, you are going to use role-based security. You can consider a small scenario. I have a business, and I'm providing some services. I want to provide a Power BI report into that my customers. I will prepare the report like for all customers, one level of reports based on their services or my association with them. I want to provide some insights to them. So that one report, and the other thing is my partners, my employees need to see the data. For all the data, I want to see all the employees need to see a certain level of data. So that is the second level. Or my directors or my management, only few people wanted to see the data related to that employees and the profits and the customers and everything. So that is a different level of data. So I will prepare three reports, and I will provide the access all the users. One set of data I will provide access. All the employees I will provide one set of data, and all the directors one set of data. So you can consider a small scenario that in a bank, we have bank employees will be there. So whenever a customer goes, they can see all the data. But if I log in, I can see my data. So the people who are there in the bank, they have a role-based security. They will be see all the customers' data within their region, within their branch, or within their, based on the privilege that they have. Okay. So, but my focus is to tell you that they have the access more than a customer. More than a customer, they will have access to see all the people data. Each and every bank employee will have the same set of data. So now, if you want to accomplish that one, we are going to use a role-based security. And the next one is, here, when to select or how to implement this one. How to implement that one is, in order to implement this one, what we need to do is, we need to create a role, and create a role based on the condition we are going to make. As I said, a scenario, customers. then after customers, employees, directors are based on the different privileges, based on the different granularities, you can provide the permission. So we need to create a role and we need to provide a condition for that role. What that role can see, we need to provide. Then after, you need to test it, and then after, you are going to deploy it. These activities can be done either Power BI or a Visual Studio. As part of a live environment, this always will be done as part of Visual Studio, not in a Power BI. Okay, so I said boss of security implementation is one of the main required things. We cannot provide the data access for all the people. Even with the same company, same team also will not provide. If you consider it's enterprise level, within the same team also, within the same company, same floor also, they will not see the other team's data. Okay, so then security is that much important. Whenever you are implementing a security, you have two things are there. One is role based and a role based. Role based is nothing but, like if you want to provide a same set of data to the multiple people, you are going to use role based. And whenever you want to implement, you need to follow some steps. That, like we need to get a role, we need to provide a condition, and then after we need to test it, and then after you need to deploy it, and then after you need to add the people. We need to create a condition for that role. Then after we need to add the people to that role. That can be at the time of development or after deployment. Test it and deploy it. These are the 4 steps which are there, 5 steps which are there to implement a role-based security. Okay, so and here role-based security will be referred as static security. Static security. So static security is why people used to call it as a static security is, let's consider a scenario. I have a business where I have the business people are there, business users are there across 50 countries. Across 50 countries, I have my business, I have business users are there. And whenever that 50 countries, I have 10,000 people are there, or 1,000 people are there. 1,000 people are there. So whenever a one person business user comes, one new business user comes, what we need to do is, we need to add that business user to all the user groups. Before giving that knowledge, understand the scenario very clearly. Static security, like we used to consider this as a static security, and here why we used to call it as a static security is, why static security, or it involves with so it involves with more human efforts. Why it is a more human efforts is, so here let's consider a scenario, that a small scenario. Here I have a business so if I have a business and I have the business users are there across 10 countries. 10 countries, and I have a business and business users are in 10 countries, and if my business users are only 20 people or 30 people, and here each business user can see, or the business user involves with only specific country. At that time, we use role-based security. We use role-based security. So when you are going to select, so when we are going to use, a role-based security is, so here, like as I already mentioned, same set of data to multiple people, and that scenario also with the same condition. So here, just a second. As I already conveyed that same set of data for multiple people, at that time we are going to use role-based security. And whenever you are implementing this one, it involves with a more human efforts. You don't require anything business all. Why? Because let's say if you have 10 roles are there, and if you have 100 people are there. If you have a less number of users, no issues. If you have a more number of users, let's assume if you have a business users or if you have a customers, 100 customers are there or 150 customers are there. As the number keep on growing, and whenever a new person comes, you need to manually add the person in a database, in a model, like at the time of development of the code, you need to add the person. So it involves with a human effort. Let's assume one business user associated with the 4 countries. One user involves with the 4 countries. We need to add a person into 4 countries and we need to remove it. I feel I am making a confuse for the last 5 minutes of time. First, understand the scenario, then after we'll continue further development. Okay? So I am saying that this role-based security is a static security. The static security is nothing but I have a business with, let's consider 10 countries, and I have 50 customers are there, and each customer involves with minimum of 3 countries. In that scenario, we are going to create a multiple roles for US, UK, Canada. Like we are going to provide multiple countries, and we are going to add a user called A to the US, to UK, to Canada. So whenever a new person joins, he might belongs to one country or multiple countries. And whenever a new person joins, you need to manually add that person to the different roles. Whenever a new person leaves, you need to remove the person in all the groups. If you have a 5 or 6 people are there, or 2 or 3 groups are there, fine, you can manually add it. But if you have 30 roles are there, okay, or if you have 1,000 customers are there, in that scenario, at that time, managing this one is a very, very, very difficult. At that time, we are going to use a row-based security or dynamic security. So we are going to add a user or we are going to remove a user with respect to database. We'll see that one later. But for now, it's a role-based security. We are going to create a role. We are going to add a condition. We are going to test it. We are going to add the user. We are going to deploy it. That's it. That you can do at a Power BI level, and that you can do at a Visual Studio level also. So now, if you do at a Power BI level, you already understood how to do that one. At Power BI level, you already understood the process. Everyone gone through it. No need to worry at all. And so the next one is at Visual Studio. Here at a Power BI, like let me open. I'm opening Power BI. Just give me a second. So here, previously or in a Power BI desktop, how you can implement a security is nothing but as part of a modeling tab, you have a manage roles here there, and there you can click on the roles, create. Here you can provide a condition, whatever the condition that you want. So previously or now you can see like you have a sales data table which refers cities and countries. If you are implementing a security at a city level, I'll say that it's a Guntur. DAX formulas are case sensitive. You need to take care whenever you are writing. So Guntur, I am providing a condition. Similarly, I am providing another filter on Pune. So here I am representing the Pune data. So like this you are going to create a role, and then after once you create it you can test it what data each role is getting represented. Okay, so what data each role is getting represented. So here if it is Pune, let's go to the table. If it is a Guntur, it is showcasing Guntur data. You are able to see that it was filtered only Guntur, and whenever you are creating a report, it will showcase only Guntur data. And if you wanted to see as a Pune whether it is working fine or not, you can see the Pune data. Now, here you are able to see there is another option called other user. Other user is nothing but whenever you are implementing a security, you will have the other people like in at the same time. Like we are providing a security means like it is for multiple people, right? If someone has an issue, if you want to test it whether it is working fine or not with respect to a specific user, you can impersonate your report with respect to that user. Okay, at that time you are going to use other user. So I will showcase the other user option in next session. So my personal machine still with installation phase only, it is having some issues with installation. That will be configured by next session. I will showcase how you can impersonate another user in a Power BI. For now, what you need to understand is, so we started with the security. I said security is to hide or to display the data with respect to user based on the privileges. We have two types of security. I said role based and row based. Role based is nothing but I said the same data if you want to give it to the multiple people, at that time we are going to use a role based security. And if you want to implement in a Power BI or a Visual Studio, you have these steps are there. We need to create a role, we need to provide a condition, and we need to provide the people, we need to add the people to that role, and we need to test it and deploy it. And here I said it is, here it is, I said it is involved with a more human efforts. Let's consider a scenario that if a person joins with multiple roles, maintaining and managing the roles is very difficult. At that time, we are going to use another approach. We will see that one later with an example. So far I explained that one. And then after, I said you can create or you can implement the security. Then you can, I said that you can implement the security by using Visual Studio or Power BI. So whenever you are implementing by using a Power BI, you need to follow these steps. As part of a modeling tab, you have a manage roles option is there, and you need to create a role, you need to provide a condition, and then after you need to save it. You can test it here as a view role as. You can impersonate or you can test it from here. So far we are done up here. And if you people consider these things we already might touch as part of our Power BI class. Here, what extra things that you need to add on here is a same data can be part of a two different roles. Same data can be part of a two different roles. Same person can be part of a two different roles. That can be possible based on the business need. So I have a two set of users are here. Those users who wanted to see one set of user, they wanted to see a specific city called Pune. And the second requirement is I want to showcase Mumbai and Pune both as a another role. I have only two types of users. One set of users need to see only Pune. The second set of people need to see Pune and Mumbai both. If that is the requirement, you can implement a role-based security by providing So here I am going to create a role Pune and Mumbai. So here I am providing a filter where city name you need to provide a DAX expression where city name in Pune, Mumbai. So let me check capital M. Mumbai. Testing it and then after save it. So it is having some manage rules, it is having some issues. It is having an issue with in. Whenever you use an in, I think we need to use the curly braces. Still. But in a tabular place it will work out, no need to worry. Okay?
So I think equal to sign you need to
Which one?
the equal sign.
That yes. Tonight, yes. Yes, it was. No. Marriage rules. Sorry. That view known as Pune and Mumbai. Click on OK. So now you can see the data is displayed for a Pune and a Mumbai booth. At the same place, you have an option called Pune. Whenever you select a Pune, you are getting the Pune data. So now, what I wanted to convey is, I used to say that whenever you are implementing a partitioning process, you don't need to duplicate the data, you need to override the data, you need to leave the data, we used to say. But as part of security implementation, if you have any assumptions that we are creating a role for a Pune or we are creating a role for Mumbai, can I create a role for both? Yes, you can. So here, the 2 points that you need to understand is, role-based security we are implementing when the same data wanted to provide for multiple people. That is the first point. The second point is, based on the requirement we are going to get a role. In your same project, same data can be part of a multiple roles. Okay, as you observe, I have a Pune role is there which is going to represent the Pune, and I have like the Pune and Mumbai is there to represent the Pune and Mumbai both the data. That can be possible. That can be possible. So that is what we observe now. With respect to one row, a multiple rows can represent the same data. Yes, possible. The next one is the third point. A single user can be part of multiple roles. Single user part of multiple roles. That is what happened. And the other way, if you see the role called Pune, if I add one person called A, he can see Pune data. If I add A to that another role, he can see Mumbai and Pune data. It might get confused. 2 points you need to remember. One is you can create a roles which represents the same data also. Based on your business states, as I said, Pune one role, Pune with Mumbai another role. You can. Thereafter, you might have a user who belongs to 3 different cities. Okay, whose business having 3 different cities. We can add that user to the 3 different places. 3 different places you can add it. 3 different roles you can add it based on the business need. Whenever you add to a 3 different roles, whenever he is seeing, he can see the complete 3 pieces of information. Now, I just want to experiment something over here. Let me stop the record. Viewing. You understood that we can have a multiple roles with the same set of data. And I am saying that a user can be added to the multiple, same user can be added to the multiple groups I said. Okay, so now we'll observe a small thing. So what we'll do is, manage roles and a view role as a different user. This option is there whenever you are implementing a row level security. I'm not sure whether this is success or not, but fine, ignore that one. So this is how it will be happened. And now the next one is, in a Power BI desktop, you are going to create a role like that, you are going to view it, you are going to create a visualization, then after we are going to deploy in a Power BI service. Then after we are going to deploy in a Power BI service. So here, like you will create one visualization. I'm saving it. So I'm saving this report and I'm publishing it. I'm publishing the report in the service. So design it. Let's put on this workspace and data sets. You can see the S underscore security, which contains the security option. Whatever the rules that I created, that is there. Okay. So here you are going to add the users. Here you are going to add the users whomever you want manually. Whenever you are following the Power BI based approach, Power BI desktop based approach, you are going to create a role like this. So you are going to get a role in Power BI desktop, you are going to test it, you are going to publish it, and then after you are going to add it. That is what Power BI based approach. And here we are going to add the users get Power BI service. The next one is get a Visual Studio. Whenever we are doing this one as part of Visual Studio, we are going to add the users yet like either Visual Studio or SSMS. What do you mean by Visual Studio or SSRMS? We'll understand. So this is the concept that role-based security is nothing but you are going to create a role, you are going to provide a condition, you are going to add the user to the multiple roles or the single role, and that adding user it might be at a Power BI service or it might be at a Visual Studio. Now adding the user at a Visual Studio or SSMS, practically how they can see the data in next session you will see. Why? Because I am still in setting up some laptop softwares on my personal laptop. I am keeping that one hold. The second one is dynamic security or role level security. Whenever you have a requirement that you have a data, like where the users are there, for each user you want to showcase separate data. Previously I said, a set of people, I want to showcase the same data. At that time, role-based security. But here, for each user, you want to showcase separate data. That is what you used to observe in this all social media networks. For each user level, there is going to showcase a different profile, different details. And if you want to provide that kind of security, we are going to use dynamic security or row level security. At each row level, we are providing a security. In order to accomplish that, generally, most commonly, we are going to use a function called username. A username is a function which is going to return the person or a service account name of a person who logged into that machine. Okay? So now, dynamic security on a high level, what you need to understand is, if we need to showcase the data, yet user level. For each user level, if you want to showcase, we are going to use, instead of creating for 1,000 people, instead of creating 1,000 roles, we will create only one role. Based on that role, we are going to showcase the data. Okay? So, at a user level, if you want to create, you can create it. Now, here, yes, if we want to create or showcase the data with each user separate data you want to showcase, yet at that time, we are going to use a row level security. Now, row level security or dynamic security, can you accomplish? As part of like Power BI desktop? Yes, we can accomplish. In order to accomplish that one, we have a function called username. This is going to return the person who logged in the Power BI. You know that Srinivas Murupati logged in it is showcased. If I want to capture that information, who logged it? If I want to capture, I have a function called username. So now, with the help of username, we are going to load it. So in order to understand this one a better way, what we are going to do is, like here, go to the sample source data file. We are going to create one table. we are going to create a one table. Let's say that security. Security here, city name and the user name. This user, I wanted to log in. I wanted to provide the permission to different cities I am mentioning here as part of a database. So I am mentioning Pune and Kultur, Mumbai. Like that I am adding a cities, and each city I want to add a different people. So here, let me bring some people over here. I am adding a different people over here as part of my Excel. This user I am providing for it 2 cities. Okay, and I am adding another person.
Background sound is that? Like some background sound is coming. Some music is coming.
Okay, one second, let me check. So here I am creating one table which refers security. So how we can implement a dynamic security? I am just giving a heads up with respect to Power BI desktop. But anyways, I will showcase as part of a Visual Studio also, best approach also I will showcase. So here, I am having a one table which is going to refer for each user what kind of permission that you want, you are going to provide it. Okay. So I just mentioned only 2 users, and whatever they want to see I provided 2 or 3 different city names I provided. Thereafter, I give a name as a security to that file, to that table. Just saved it. Thereafter, let me bring that table as part of our model. I am adding that user over here. I am adding that user to here, that table to here, and you can verify security table is loaded. Okay, so the column 1 it will represent. Let's go to edit queries. Edit queries, security. Use first there. So I added it. Close and apply. So I have a table called security which contains the city name and username, which means for each user what it is they want to see the data. We are maintaining a database. And we have another table which contains a sales data. It is going to refer different cities of information we have. Now, if you need to implement the security, these tables must be related. These tables must be related. So, if they are not related, you cannot use a table. Up to here, are you clear with what we are doing and what is happening here? Anyone has any questions? Anyone has any questions? Kankana and Kartik is fine. Remaining, Srinivas is fine.
No, Srinivas.
Krishna fine. Okay. So now, fine. As you are in the process and you are able to understand what we are doing. Now, understand that I need to showcase the data from a sales data table as part of our visualizations. And I need to restrict the data of displaying based on the city name and username. Okay. If I need to validate the city name both the places, these must be related. If they want to be related, it is showing an error. It is saying that, boss, here I have a duplicate values in the first table. In the second table also I have a duplicate values. What I need to do? It is saying that one. Right? You cannot provide a relation between these two things. At that time, what you need to do is, you need to create a one bridge table. You need to create a table which contains both the information, or you need to have a table which contains a unique city names. So what you need to do is, you need to create another dimension. You need to create another dimension. Why we are creating another dimension means you are unable to create a relationship. If you are unable to create a relationship, you cannot use this table. So that's why we are creating another table with a name called city. City name. I am making it as a new query. And city name was king. And here I am making it as, I am removing the duplicates. And convert to a table file. And close and apply. So one table came. These are what I want to cover as part of a project requirement. Okay. So where we need to take a dimensions, where we need to select one to many, all those things. Fine. So now this table, which is going to contain the city's information, which is a unique information. Now we are going to relate them together. Okay, we are going to relate together. So now here what we are going to do is, as from this table you need to provide two-way filtering. Two-way filtering you need to provide. Why? Because not only one direction. Whenever I select a city, that need to filter here, that need to filter the user here. And whenever user selected, the cities will be filtered. That city need to give an input to here. That need to give an input here. So it need to be two direction filtered. Both. Both. Now,
Srinivas, can you explain the scenario once again? Just this multi-use.
yes. So first of all, like I have a sales data table and I will create a separate security table which contains each user what are the cities they wanted to see we mentioned. Okay. Then after, if you and we are going to apply a security condition on this table, and we are going to refer this table to read the user name and city name. In order to refer that other table, the security table and the sales data table must be related. In order to create a relation between them, here a each user can be part of a multiple cities also, can be possible. Like each user will be represented multiple rows, each city will be represented multiple rows, and here also multiple cities will be there, duplicated cities. As there is no one-to-one or one-to-many mapping, you need to create a relation. So I created another table which represents the unique city names. Then after I created a relationship. By default, one-to-many relationship came. But how I want to filter is, whenever I filter a user here, only that specific cities need to be come here, and that cities need to pass it to here, that cities pass it to here, so that only that data will need to display. Okay. At the same time, if I select here, that city need to pass here, that city need to pass here, and which means that two directions I need to pass a value. That is the reason I mentioned two ways I mentioned. So if I am not mentioning two ways, one-to-many will be here. Whenever user come here also, it cannot filter here. You cannot filter here. If you not filter here, that cannot be passed here. So one second. Hello. Yes. Hari. You permission class. Okay, fine. So I provide the relationships, which means that I am in assumption that from here I can access this table. Okay. So now go to manage relationships or a modeling tab. Go to manage roles and let's create a role.
Srini, I have one doubt.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, as you told, there is a duplicate city thing is arise, right? In self-data table. So if suppose a duplicate user will come, then what will happen?
Duplicate user will be there. That is what, and duplicate user will be there because one user you wanted to see two cities. At the time, what will happen? User city, like user Hyderabad, user Pune. So duplicate user will be there. So that is what the question I said, right? It does not mean that one person belongs to only one place. One person belongs to multiple places also. At that time, if you follow that first approach, you need to add each person to the different groups manually. And each person needs to remove multiple groups manually. So instead of doing that, at a database level we are maintaining with a single insert record and single delete record. So the end of this one. So now, clear? Hello?
Yeah.
Yes. So now, sales data, I want to provide a filter, add a filter, or a table from Pune. So I will add a filter here. Contains you need to showcase what is the table name on the other table, whatever the table that you are referring contains. You have the city name table, a city name table. A city name table. You have a column called column 1. Column 1 is equals to our sales data table. One second. Dynamic security. So from here, we are hitting this one, and from here automatically it is hitting this one. So what you need to do is you need to filter on this table, or you need to filter on this table based on the username. Okay, so city name, what I am going to filter is city name whatever, city name contains like the other table called security. On a security table we have a column called city name, contains city name, comma, I will explain this one, column 1. Similarly, username, so what we are going to write an expression, like this, like the contents in the function which is going to return a true or false, and what we are saying is, boss, verify a security table. On the security table, our column 1, which is nothing but a city name over here, is matching with, under the security table there is a column called city name. Those two are matches or not? There is one matching. The second one, call a username function, which is going to get you whoever logged into that Power BI. That name matches with the username column which is there as part of security table or not. We wanted to validate those two things. If those two things are correct, it is going to filter the city name table. If it filter here, automatically that will filter here also, right? Okay, so now it is having some errors. Is incorrect. Contains a security, the column name 1. No problem at all, even though column name actually we are going to use a contains function as part of Visual Studio. It is not working here.
So suppose D is required, you are creating rows for D, something else.
Nothing is there like that. That is fine. That is fine. But here only we have special. Please have some 1 second. Okay, please have some errors. I'm stopping here. We'll see from here in next session. So we'll see the next session from here. Like what we are going to see is we'll see how to implement a dynamic security in a Power BI desktop, and at the same thing, like we'll see how to implement a static and dynamic security as part of Visual Studio with the help of data tools and SQL Server. We'll see those things in next session. And I'm closing the session now. We'll connect in the next session. Bye now. Anyone has any questions on whatever I covered?
Next tomorrow or today night?
Night. I'm reading today night. It is not possible to take session evening. Tomorrow morning only for all. Tomorrow morning session will be there.
Tomorrow morning at same time, 8:30 or?
So see, like morning sessions are, I'll give you an update whenever I give an update. But tomorrow morning we have sessions as well.
Okay.
Yep.